To the front, please. It is now 7 o'clock. We will go ahead and start the regular city council meeting. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Guzman.
Present.
Alderman Martinez.
Present.
Alderman Felix.
Present.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Donaworth.
Present.
Mayor Taylor.
Present.
You have a quorum, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight we have a special invocation by Minister Rick Harris from the North Shore Ministers Alliance. Thank you so much for being here this evening, and I'll turn it over to you.
Amen. Am I live here? Can you hear me? All right, let us pray. Gracious God in heaven, we thank you for yet another day's journey. We thank you, Lord, for things being as well as they are right now. Now, Lord, we ask that you would bless this meeting and let our actions, words, and deeds be acceptable in your holy sight. Let our solutions serve both those who have loud voices and those who have none, those with means, Lord, and those who are without. We ask, Lord, that you would bless this mayor. Give her an understanding heart that she might rightly judge thy people. Give her insight and give her vision. Shore her up on every leaning side and help her to place you first in all that she does. Place your hedge of protection around her, Lord, and order her footsteps in your holy word. Then, Lord, we thank you for these aldermen, these men and women who have devoted a portion of their lives to speak on behalf of thy people. Bless the work of their hands. Let your word be a lamp unto their stumbling feet and a light unto their dark path. And Lord, bless their families who loan them to us day in and day out in order to make this city a better place to work, live, and play. And lastly, Lord, we ask that you would smile upon this great city. Draw us closer together and near unto you. Help us to look beyond race, gender, or anything else that may divide us and allow us to see you in everyone and everything. Help us to be better today than we were yesterday and even better tomorrow. And all of God's people said together and collectively, amen.
Please. Again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the, believe it or not, April 1st City Council meeting. And yes, it is April Fool's Day, but we still have a City Council meeting. Again, I want to remind people that our agendas go out on Fridays before the City Council meetings, and the council meetings are the first and third Mondays of every month, with a few exceptions throughout the year for holidays. Before I give mayor's comments, I meant to do this at the last council meeting, and I didn't do it. It just slipped my mind. But I want to start having Chief Navarro talk at our city council meetings to update you on some of the things happening in the community. So, Chief Navarro, would you like to come up?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to quickly talk about some of our stats for the month of February. We issued, there was a complaint during the last council meeting, numerous complaints that were made to me about wanting to know the numbers of our parking and traffic citations that we issued. During the month of February, we issued 1,984 parking citations. We issued 513 traffic citations, and we have recovered 47 guns. That includes 41 handguns, 4 rifles, and 2 shotguns. Mayor, if you wouldn't mind, there's been some questions that were asked of me as of recent related to the shooting at 200 Julian that I'd like to give a quick briefing on. On Saturday, March 30th at about 9:42 p.m., our department received calls of shots fired at 200 in front of 200 Julian. When officers arrived, they located two subjects, both with gunshot wounds, one adult male, one adult female. Both subjects were taken to area hospitals for treatment. Evidence indicates that and suggests that we collected multiple shell casings in front of the building and on the street. So that evidence is suggesting to us that both sides were shooting at each other during this confrontation. When we arrived to 200 Julian, unfortunately, the subjects were no longer there, but based on the investigation that we're conducting, we know there were multiple people involved beyond the two that were shot that evening. Detectives are following up on leads, and they are reviewing video in the area, and this is an active and ongoing investigation. What I ask, if you have any information pertaining to this incident, to call the department's tip line at 847-360-9001, or if you'd like to leave an anonymous tip on the Waukegan PD tip app, you can text 847-411 with that information. You can also leave information on the city's website where that tip app can also be accessed. So thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief. And we do also put out our crime stats, including parking citations and all of that, that you can get off of our website at any time. And so please utilize that so you know what information is out there and what is accurate. Under Mayor's comments tonight, I want to start because tonight we have on the agenda to vote on is the budget, and I want to talk a little bit about the budget. First off, I want to start the evening by thanking, and I say this often, but you don't know the work that goes in by our city staff, and I want to thank them for everything that they've done. They have prepared a monumental budget with no increase in the property tax levy, no additional debt, and a record $39.4 million in capital improvements. When I came into office in 2021 as mayor, I said that we would not increase the property tax levy. That means the city of Waukegan will receive the same amount of money in property taxes from residents and businesses this year as we did in '23, in '22, and in '21. Budgeting for this has been a challenge because, as everyone in this room knows, the prices of everything have gone up since '21. If you are not paying more for things like groceries and everything else that you bought in '21, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, that it is a challenge. How we've met that challenge is, number one, I've assigned the task to people to get more and more grant money, and they have done that. They have gone above and beyond. All that said, that many of you look at your property tax bill and wonder why your taxes have gone up. And the first thing everybody does is blame the city of Waukegan. If you look at your tax bill, there are very many multiple levels of government that are on that tax bill. And many of them have increased your taxes, but the city of Waukegan has not. For those of you who are renters and say, well, I don't really care what the tax bill is because I don't have a tax bill. Trust me, if your landlord's property tax bill went up, guess what? You got a rent increase. The city staff here has been charged with finding efficiencies in government since day one, and that is why we've all been able to increase spending key areas while also paying down the long-term debt that we inherited without increasing the property tax levy. For example, the $39.4 million in capital improvements this year represents one of the city's highest levels of investment in our infrastructure. This investment includes upgrades to our streets, alleys, water, sewer facilities, including heating, ventilation, and air conditioning repairs at our fire stations. Again, this is being accomplished without taking out any new debt. If we took out additional bonding debt to pay for this, the ultimate cost would not be $39.4 million, but over $60 million with the interest on that bill. Not taking out new debt means we're paying cash prices for the city's investments and services, so we aren't paying millions of dollars in extra high interest on loans for projects that are getting finished in the city like we have in the past. By working in this fashion, we're also saving future city councils and, frankly, future Waukegan mayors from the burdens that we've dealt with here during these last 3 years. On the public safety front, we've increased our active police force by over 15% during the last 3 years. And this year, we're adding 10 fully accessorized police squads and 5 new dispatchers to the city's own 911 dispatch center. Crime is a challenge in any underserved community like Waukegan, but I'm confident in the recommendations and actions of Chief Navarro and the men and women of the Waukegan Police Department. At the fire department, we now have 123 certified firefighter paramedics who are vital to the health and welfare of our residents, businesses, and visitors. I also want to thank Chief Pazer and the men and women, I will say just one woman, of the Waukegan Fire Department, and for their recommendations and actions in securing our public safety. The budget presented this evening is fiscally responsible to our residents, our businesses, and is a testament to the diligent work of this city staff. I want to thank each and every one of our department heads for your hard work in getting a truly inevitable position of where this city is now compared to where we've been in past years. Again, I want to thank our interim finance director, Don Schultz, and our Assistant Finance Director, Sherry Martinez, for all the work that has been put into this, but the hours that each and every department head has met with us and gone over projects and, you know, what are we looking for, what do we have to give to the residents of Waukegan. I'm hoping that, you know, because our budget works from May 1st till April 30th, I'm hoping that we pass this budget as quickly as possible so we can get some of these contractors going on projects. Unfortunately, when your budget starts on May 1st, you want to get your contractors, some of them are already booked with other communities that have their budgets that run from January 1st until December 31st. So it is my hope that we get this budget done as quickly as possible, but I want you to understand this is one of the best budgets that we have had in over 45 years. Some general comments. I want to remind everyone that the last day to purchase your 2024 city stickers is April 30th. Remember, the discounted area time was from February until March 30th. Technically the 31st, but that was over the weekend, so it was last Friday. So April 30th is your last day to purchase them before they double in price. The Waukegan Police Traffic Bureau will be open for special hours on Saturday, April 27th, which, again, I'll remind you, is a Saturday. We're usually not open on Saturdays, but it'll be open Saturday the 27th from 8 to 1 to accommodate those last-minute purchases. You can also purchase passenger and truck stickers at most currency exchanges in Waukegan with an additional convenience fee that is put on by those exchanges. They also do not, even though they partner with us, they do not offer the discounts that you get here, whether you do it online or whether you come to City Hall. Meaning if you're a senior citizen, if you have a physical disability or are in the active military, your exchanges will not honor those discounts. So again, please plan your schedule so you can avoid those long lines because you don't want to wait till the last minute. You've probably all seen brochures for Earth Day, which is approaching, and the City of Waukegan and Waukegan Public Works and your 9 aldermen will once again make Earth Week by hosting a large waste collection throughout the city starting on Monday, April 22nd, and ending on Friday, April 26th. Each alderperson and the 9 wards will have a designated collection point during this week where residents can dispose of household items, tires that are off the wheel, and electronics. Items not accepted include yard waste, liquids, tree trunks, concrete, brick and stone, rocks, hazardous waste, flammable materials, car parts, small engines, paint, stains, and railroad ties. This is a free service offered to the residents, and we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity to do some spring cleaning in and around your homes. Residents can participate in any of the collection days and are not limited to the ones in your ward. So if you happen to work, say, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday's your only day off, but you live in the first ward and your day was Monday, please go to one of the other wards that are on that Wednesday and take your stuff. If you want more information on this, please go to our website or talk to your alderman. I think each and every one of them has it on their Facebook page about when their days are. In addition to those pickup days, there are several community-led cleanup initiatives, including the Waukegan Beach Cleanup on Saturday, April 20th from 10 to noon, the Amstel's Cleanup on Saturday, April 20th from 9 to noon, and a Waukegan Harbor Cleanup on Saturday, April 20th from 10 to 12. So if you haven't noticed, some of those conflict with each other, so you'll have to pick which one that you'd like to do a cleanup at, but those are your options. I'm asking you to please get involved in your community, help our community have a better curb appeal. Take pride in your neighborhood. If you're an organization or a church or club or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, Earth Day is a great day or a great way to get the community involved. Please let us know if you're looking for help in organizing that. You can call our PR department at 847-599-2525 so that we can make sure that we get you on the calendar and you get the opportunity to help. In addition to the Earth Week collections, I'm happy to announce that there will also be a yard waste spring cleanup, courtesy of the city and LRS, which will begin on Monday, April 22nd, and run for 2 weeks. This will include an unlimited collection of residential yard waste bags and specifically designated yard waste cans not to exceed 50 pounds each. No stickers are required during that period, and yard or landscape waste consists of organic waste from cultivating and maintaining gardens, lawns, shrubs, trees, vines. Items not accepted for yard waste disposal include sod, dirt, artificial Christmas trees, wreath greenery, garland, food scraps. For more information, you can contact LRS at 844-633-3577. Last, the Regional Transportation Authority, the RTA, has selected the City of Waukegan as one of the 9 new projects for its Access to Transit program, which provides funding to municipalities to complete engineering and construction for small-scale capital improvements such as filling sidewalk gaps and installing covered bicycle parking that improve connections to transit for people who walk, ride, or roll to transit services. We were delighted to hear that we will receive $55,000 for this purpose. Our grant request specifically targeted Waukegan's transit hub and transit services in our downtown and lakefront areas, focusing on improving commuter access and increasing public transportation and general ridership. We look forward to working with the RTA, PACE, and Metra on this Phase 1 engineering study as we address accessibility, pedestrian safety, and intersection improvements along our public transit corridor. That's all the comments I have. We'll move on to resolutions, proclamations, presentations, and appointments. I'm sorry, before we move on really quick, I will have corporate counsel talk about an update on a lawsuit.
Normally, when you have the attorney speak, it's not great news. Today is a little bit different. I wanted to give the community an update on some ongoing litigation that has affected every single one of Waukegan's taxpayers, and not only Waukegan's taxpayers, but also the taxpayers in Park City, North Chicago, and Lake County in general. As many of you are aware, back in 2019, the city went through a public process to vet and select possible candidates to run Waukegan's casino. It was an open process. A number of people participated. Over 1,000, I think 1,200 comments were submitted. There was a giant public forum that was held at the Genesee Theater. And through this open process, 3 possible vendors were selected out of the 4 who remained. And as we know, there is a temporary casino currently operating that is bringing in tax revenue that is being shared between Waukegan, Park City, North Chicago, and Lake County. It's employing a bunch of people, and it is a very successful endeavor. But that endeavor has been hamstrung, and there's a reason that Full House, which operates the temporary casino, has not broken ground on their projected $600 million permanent facility. And that is because one of the bidders that was not selected, the Forest Potawatomi tribe, ran to court immediately, trying to block this process, trying to slow it down. This is an organization that operates a very successful casino up in Milwaukee, and had publicly made statements that it takes whatever actions it can to prevent competition. Those actions have included a federal lawsuit and also a lawsuit that was initiated in Cook County trying to prevent the issuance of a gaming license by the Illinois Gaming Board. The good news is that as of last Friday, the city was granted summary judgment in the federal lawsuit, which means we won. And the court was very clear that the Potawatomi tribe and their organization that runs their casino had basically made a completely absurd argument, and one that had no legal merit. This was a very refreshing outcome. We still have the state case, which is going up to the Illinois Supreme Court. We'll be submitting briefs on that on Wednesday, and we hope to have good news that will allow both Full House and all the benefiting communities to move forward with the plans that have been established and the revenue sharing that has been promised. And so what I hope is that by this coming fall, I'll be able to announce that we're moving forward full steam ahead. But I wanted to give that important update to the community. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to item 2, the resolutions, proclamations, presentations, and appointments. The first one, as many of you know, we voted, I think it was in December, to stop balloon releases, and it comes into effect. I think today is our day for that. But many of you have culturally been used to doing balloon releases, and we want to make sure that there's options that you know that you can still do and it not affect anything. So Rachel, who works in planning and zoning, but also does our green sustainability, is going to give you some of those ideas.
Good evening, City of Waukegan and Alderman. My name is Rachel Canton. For those of you who don't know, I am an assistant planner with the city and also a member of the city's green team. The City Green Team is a group of city staff that are across multiple different departments, and we work together to implement the city's sustainability plan as well as other green initiatives for the city. As a green team, we're working to help spread the word about this ordinance that was passed earlier in the year and goes into effect today. And tonight I'll be sharing a little bit more about the importance of this ordinance as well as the alternatives. So next slide. This ordinance was approved in January and it goes with a delayed start for April 1st today. This ordinance bans the intentional release of helium and other lighter than air balloons, and the purpose of this is to protect the city and protect Lake Michigan. This ordinance isn't banning helium balloons or balloons as a whole, just the intentional release of them into the air. Next slide. In order to help people know about this rule, the places that sell balloons are required to post a written disclosure about this ordinance and this ban. So we've created a sign that you can see on the screens, as well as there's a few in the back by the elevators. So if you are a business owner that sells balloons or you know someone, feel free to grab one on your way out. We have them in both English and Spanish. These are also available on our website under the sustainability page. This ordinance, though new to the city, is becoming common throughout the country. There's 5 statewide bans, with more on the way, and many individual municipalities like our own are implementing them. These balloon release bans are not just important for the health of our environment, but also our community. What goes up must come down, and unfortunately, when balloons come down from the sky, they have major issues on the ground. One of the issues caused by balloons is that they sometimes land on power lines and can cause power outages and fires. Southern California Edison report that they actually cause thousands of power outages a year. These outages can cause elevators to stop, they can shut down people's medical equipment at their homes, and ultimately endanger the people that work on these power lines. Intentional balloon releases also contribute to the worldwide helium shortage, which is a weird thing to have a shortage of and a weird thing to be worried about, but other than keeping balloons afloat, it also is really important towards healthcare. MRIs, for example, require helium in order to work, and MRIs are very important for taking care of people's bodies and identifying and diagnosing diseases, strokes, tumors, things like that. So balloon releases, unfortunately, contribute to that helium shortage and can compromise people's ability to access medical care and diagnoses. Balloons are also a major source of pollution. Ocean Conservancy's cleanups have found 1.2 million balloons, balloon fragments, and strings along U.S. beaches. And we might not be along the ocean, but we are along the Great Lakes and Lake Michigan. So balloon releases contribute to 22 million pounds of plastic that enter the Great Lakes every single year. A study out of University of Michigan found 1,500 unique reports of balloon fragments along the Great Lakes in just a few months. From June to October, 1,500 almost immediately. Now, balloons, not just causing pollution right where we are, but they actually travel very, very far. Balloons released in England were found in Denmark, were found in the Netherlands, even Australia, which is 10,000 miles away from where they originally let go. So balloons released here in Waukegan don't just end up as litter in Waukegan, but also end up as litter in other places. Next slide. Now, in addition to being unsightly litter, they're also incredibly dangerous to wildlife. Birds, turtles, fish, all of these animals consume them and have died because of this. Even domestic animals like dogs, even livestock like cows, have died because of ingesting balloons and balloon strings. Balloons can cause internal blockages leading to starvation. Strings and balloon fragments can entangle animals, preventing them from moving, finding food, and can even cause strangulation. Balloons are actually the highest risk debris there is. They are 32 times more likely to result in death than hard plastic litter. And this ordinance can help Waukegan do our part in protecting our health, our environment, and our wildlife. There are lots of alternatives to balloon releases. They are very common for weddings, funerals, graduations, and more, but there's lots of other alternatives that can be really impactful. So I wanted to talk about a couple of them. The first one is bubbles. They're pretty fun. And what you can do is you can purchase them on your own, or there's lots of homemade recipes that you can find as well. Next slide. And the next one. So pinwheels are another great option that you commonly see. These can be made out of plastic and store-bought, or you can make them on your own with paper, and they're a great option to put in your yard or at a memorial site. Next slide. Seed paper is one of my favorites. You combine scrap paper and wildflower seeds into a plantable paper that you can then plant in your garden, maybe at your church. Memorial planting, again, is another very popular option. This can be done by planting a tree at your yard or at your church, or you can do it a little more formally. The Park District, for example, has a memorial tree planting program that you can participate in. Next slide. Painted rocks and message stones. These are another great option and a really fun activity to do as a group. You can write on the stones, draw pictures, put words or quotes on them, and then you can toss them in a river or lake or keep them with you or keep them at your home. Now, balloons are not banned in general, but the intentional release of them are. So if you would like to still continue having balloons at any celebrations that you do, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we do that safely and how we dispose of it safely. So with balloons, ideally we're avoiding helium or lighter than air balloons. This helps prevent them from getting blown away and helps with that helium shortage. We also want to avoid using them outside in order to, again, prevent them from ending up as litter down the way. And again, weighing them down or tying them. And then for disposal, make sure that you deflate them and cut them up before you put them in a trash can. To wrap up, I just wanted to share a couple of upcoming green events that are going on in the city. As the mayor mentioned, there's the ward cleanups that are going on during Earth Week. On Saturday, April 20th, we're kicking off Earth Week with a beach cleanup. That'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll find a few balloons probably. So make sure you stop on by and help clean up around town. On Thursday, April 25th, the Green Team is hosting a cleanup around downtown with other city staff members. So we encourage the community as well as the aldermen to join us with this, or take a walk on your own around your neighborhood and clean up any trash that you see. If you all have any questions about the balloon release ordinance or any upcoming events, feel free to reach out to me. I put my email on that next slide, as well as some of the sources that I used for this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. On to item B, a proclamation. So this is to honor Stories Day, which is April 12th in 2024. Is there anyone here representing them here? I know Mr. O'Keefe wasn't able to make it, so Madam Clerk, would you just read the proclamation for us then?
Absolutely. Proclamation, Stories Day in Waukegan, April 12th, 2024. Whereas research on childhood continually shows that the years from infancy through early grade school are crucial to the development of children, and that both reading and storytelling enhance children's emerging skills, promoting positive linguistic, cognitive, and social growth. And whereas the Early Childhood Community Coalition of Lake County and its members, as well as various child care centers, educators, and students, families, and citizens, are celebrating April 12, 2024 as Stories Day. And whereas Stories Day 2024 celebrates and promotes the sharing of stories with young children, focusing on the significance of learning and family bonding in the early years of childhood development. And now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Taylor and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 12, 2024 as Stories Day in Waukegan and encourage the community to read, tell stories, and engage affectionately and intellectually with the young children in their lives. Adopted this first day of April, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is Larissa Garland in the back there? Oh, there she is, okay. We'll read the proclamation, and then I'm gonna have you come up and tell us about the week, all the activities you have, and then I'll give you the proclamation. How's that? Okay. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Proclamation, City of Waukegan CDBG Department, National Community Development Week, April 1st through the 5th, 2024. Whereas the Federal Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program, has existed since 1974 to provide state and local governments with the resources to develop viable urban communities by providing decent, affordable housing and a suitable living environment, and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low and moderate income. Whereas 2024 is the 50th anniversary CDBG program, and whereas the federal CDBG program provides annual funding and flexibility to local communities such as the City of Waukegan to provide decent, safe, and affordable housing, a suitable living environment, and economic opportunities to low and moderate income people. And whereas for the past 20 years, the City of Waukegan has received a total of $20,983,864 in CDBG funds and has funded numerous programs and projects that have directly benefited those who lived, worked, and played in the City of Waukegan. And now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Taylor and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby proclaim April 1st through 5th, 2024 as Community Development Week in Waukegan, and further designates the year of 2024 as a time to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the CDBG program in recognition of its tremendous contributions to the viability of the housing stock, infrastructure, public services, and the economic well-being of our residents, adopted this first day of April 2024.
Okay, so you want to tell us a little bit more about the program, because there's a lot of our community who really doesn't understand what this program is, how much they do, besides just talking about the activities that you have scheduled for this week.
Okay. So I would just like to see, so this is the 50th year, so 1974 is a really good year because that's the year that I was born in, so it's a really, really good year. So CDBG is turning 50. We've been receiving funding since almost the inception of the program. We've been receiving funding. We actually received more than 20 million. We only went back 20 years. We do tons of activities in the community, housing rehab being one that's very popular that everybody knows about. We do emergency rehab and substantial rehab. Emergency is as soon as you come. Substantial, you're normally put on a waiting list because we have such a long list. We do infrastructure improvements. That's everything from sidewalks, sewer replacement, sidewalks, that's infrastructure. We fund the Waukegan Park District where they do parks and playgrounds throughout the community. We also do, we provide assistance to social service agencies, and they do a whole array of different projects that we fund in the community, everything from homelessness to food, utility assistance, you name it, all types of programs to engage self-sufficiency for individuals in our community. We have a lot of different programs. We funded a lot of people over the years. We have great partnership with people in the community, and I'm just excited about where it's going and how much we're going to do going forward. So this week, we're celebrating this National Community Development Week throughout the 50 states. And we have some activities planned this week. So if you can come out and join us, it's during work hours. So I know some of you cannot come, but if you can, or you know somebody who'd like to send them out, let them know about the information, get support and resources on what it is that we fund and what we do and what we've done over the years with all the various programs and stuff. We're going to be highlighting those. We'll have people that we've interviewed from small business loaning. We also do that, grants to small businesses, just a gamut of things that we do. But they will be here tomorrow. We have various agencies tomorrow. We'll be here. We'll call it the CDBG Resource Fair. It'll be in the council chambers from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're going to be at the Lake County Courthouse, right across the street from 10 a.m. to 12 as well. On Thursday, we're going to be downstairs in the lobby, so if you have any questions or answers, we'll be available there. And then on Friday, we're going to be at the Patricia Jones Center, having a resource fair where we'll again have all of our agencies that provide resources and assistance in the community. They'll be there. So if you can come out for a moment and show your face, ask questions, see what we have going on. I would love to see the community. I would love to see my alderman if you have time. Please stop by. I'm an open book, please call me, come see me. I'm here to answer any questions that you have about CDBG. CDBG is doing big things, and we're going even further. So just to let you know, so if you have any questions, everybody clear? We good?
I'm going to give you the proclamation. We're going to go to the center here. But I also want to mention to people that many of you have seen us out doing lead pipes. We have gotten a lot of grant money for that, but some of that money has also been CDBG money. If we didn't have grants and we didn't have this program, in many communities, the residents are asked to pay for those lead pipes themselves, which is $12,000 to $14,000 per household. That's not possible in our city. So that's why we have really gone all out in trying to get grants. I will say Congressman Schneider has been very good in helping us get money, and so has this wonderful lady with the CDBG program. So on behalf of the city of Waukegan, thank you. Even though she's one of our own, I just want to make sure that you understand what this program is and what it's about. Like I said, there's a lot of different things that they do, and I think you found a lot of people today that really were surprised at the amount that we do. So, Alderman, can we get a picture?
Okay, everyone. Doc, slide in a little bit more, please. There it is. Yep. A little bit more, please, Doc. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Smile, everyone. Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, I want to thank them for her whole team that does everything for our city and the amount of dedicated staff that they have, whether it be home rehabs or whether it be lead pipes, or there's just so many things, sidewalk programs. Those are other things that are funded. So please stop by if you get a chance and understand what the program's about. And again, they are at various locations, but this is their 50th anniversary, and we just want to make sure all the residents know what this program is and if you qualify to be part of it. Okay, with that, we're going to go on to the resolutions. The first one, item D, can I have a first and a second? And it's a resolution to ratify the appointment of Stanley J. Lawrence to the Waukegan Fire Pension Board. Can I have a first?
First.
That was Alderman Donenworth, second.
Second.
Alderman Hayes. Any question to the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this a new appointee or is it a reappointee? Oh, it's a new one, right?
I couldn't hear that. Fire Chief,
Is it a new appointee or a reappointment?
it's a reappointee. Is Chief Pazer back there? You want to come up and some of the aldermen don't understand what they do and why it's so important to have them. I want to tell you that it's been quite a lot of years that they've been on. I can't remember the exact amount, but I know it's been at least since 2017 that I remember.
Correct. I don't know exactly how long. They're both valuable members of the Fire Pension Board. They're both very active in the community and very, very valuable additions to our pension board. We have to have two civilians that are on the pension board, and both Larry and Michael do a phenomenal job. Our three pension board members, which are two active members as well as one retiree, love having them on the board. They do a great job. They're both in the financial industry and are very, very versed on what's going on with the pension fund for the Waukegan Fire Department.
Any other questions?
Yes. Okay, so my issue is not if they're qualified. My issue is the time that they're there. I still believe we should be looking for more people to get on these boards. I mean, what did they say, 2017, what is that, almost 10 years on there now? 7 years, almost 10? I mean, we need to switch these people up. And let's listen everybody out there. You guys want change to these boards? You guys want to complain about this or that? This is the way to do it. When an appointee comes up, come up and apply for these appointees. If you get rejected, please. If I'm still in office, you give it to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the hands that it needs to be, and I'll get you your fair shot, okay? Because I don't like reappointing over and over and over and getting the same thing over and over and over again. We need to see new blood. We need to see new ideas, not only the same thing.
Mayor, if I may, both Michael and Larry, if you had a chance to look at their resumes are phenomenal. They've done an incredible job with our pension fund. You're talking about not just taking somebody off the streets of Waukegan to look over our pension fund. Our pension fund is about $100 million. So we want the best of the best helping our pension fund benefits the city, the citizens, and the firefighters that help pay into this fund. So it's very important to have people like Michael and Larry on our board as opposed to just somebody else that would submit a resume.
But they were new also at one point. They weren't born to that position. They were appointed to that position. They started off at the bottom, and here's where they're at. And that's what we want, new people. Okay? So if it was somebody else, if it was up to me, I'd switch them out.
I don't disagree with you, but getting those people is not easy to get, and that's the difficulty with it. They have done a phenomenal job. So at this point, since there aren't other people that have come forward for it, I would suggest we appoint, and if anybody can recruit, I'm more than happy to look at other names. I don't think we've ever said that they were exclusive, but at this point, their term has ended, and they need to be reappointed, or there won't be a proper board there.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. You guys should speak to resumes and timeliness of submission and such, because I have an email here that George Bridges sent to you at 7:47 a.m. this morning, providing you with the resumes, and that's when we got it. So, as we didn't have an opportunity to look at those resumes until 7:47 a.m. I don't know when you got the email, but then it appears that this would have been the first time that you received them. So how can you expect us to digest and investigate or ask questions? We don't have any time to even question.
They were on board docs. They were part of our packet.
Do I get to speak, or does Lynn just take over when she wants? Because you didn't call her out of order.
Okay.
I'm trying to say
Just
something. I'm trying to
finish
speak
saying
here.
what you're saying.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, if we, the council didn't get the emails, get the resumes until 7:47 this morning, and that's when it came in, right? That's when it was sent. It's not when I received it. I think I actually saw it about 9:15 or something. But anyway, I think you see my point, right? The resumes are not being submitted or distributed efficiently and with enough time to allow for us to peruse them and ask any questions to any degree. And I think that's unfair. And I also have to agree with Alderman Guzman in that, excuse me, there should be opportunity for others to apply. And one way to do that, as we've talked about before, is to allow the alderman, don't just post it on the website or however you do it, but inform the alderman. There needs to be communication and say, hey, alderman, you got these appointments coming up. Can you talk to your residents, see if anyone has an interest? You know, I have an extensive email list, and I don't have an opportunity to inform my residents, and yet I see that you appoint numerous persons to these various boards from the 6th Ward. So I just ask that you give us more time.
Alderman
Thank you.
Florian?
These resumes were part of our board doc packet, which we've had since, Stuart's shaking his head, yes, we've had them since
Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. So even if I had read them on Thursday afternoon when they were published, right? So, then why would the email be sent to the mayor at 7:47 this morning? They were on board docs, right?
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Both these are gonna be motioned to hold over so we can look at these resumes for 2
Second.
weeks.
Do we vote on that, Stuart?
Holdover goes forward without a vote unless there's a vote to overrule it.
Motion to overrule.
Second.
If I could just say a comment. I actually looked at the resumes, and I was very impressed with their credentials. That it really, they really had a lot of specifics that we were looking for. You know, one had a master's degree, one did so much for the community, and still does for the community. So I did find the resumes beneficial, and I vote for them because I think they're, like you said, we need highly experienced. It's great that we want people to also, you know, apply for them, but you also have to have knowledge of what you're talking about. You're dealing with people's lives here with their money and their retirement, so why not reappoint them? You know, and that's my point of how I look at it. So.
I'd like to comment on that. It's because, the reason why not? Because they weren't born into these positions. Nobody
we
was
just vote?
born into these positions. They were appointed, and they started learning. I understand their qualifications, but we can't just have the same people over and over and over again. It has to change. People want change in this. We have to move forward. We have to give everybody the opportunity to serve on these boards. These boards are not yours for a lifetime. You're not there forever. We need other people. It cannot keep going over and over.
Okay, there's currently a motion, and that was to,
Motion to override
Okay.
the holdover request.
and that was seconded by Alderman Florian.
Who was first?
Alderman Hayes, second was Alderman Florian.
How many votes do we need to override it?
Okay, so just to be clear, unless by the consent of 2/3 of all members of the council present, we have 10 members of the council present tonight, so that would require 7 members to vote against the holdover. The mayor can vote.
Okay,
So if you vote yes, you're voting against the holdover, correct? All right.
okay.
Correct.
Does everybody?
If you,
Yeah.
the holdover is automatic unless there's a 2/3 vote to override it. The 2/3 vote will require 7 members of the council with the mayor voting. And then if that passes, then the actual original motion for this particular appointment will come back as the main motion.
So,
Okay.
but we're supposed to vote yes if we want to override the holdover?
Yes, that's correct.
This is the first time we've heard this 2/3 and the mayor gets to vote on the holdover. We never, every time we do this, first of all, every time we take a holdover, then there's a opportunity to vote to override. You always make that announcement. And now this is for the first time we're hearing that the mayor gets to vote in this.
Yes, but with the mayor voting, it's also, and Alderman Turner, I absolutely agree with you. I'm actually reading it word for word, and what it says is, unless by the consent of 2/3 of all members of the council present, the same shall be taken up for immediate consideration. And so I'm looking at it, and that's my interpretation of it.
Okay, so if you're voting yes, you're voting for the, to override the holdover. If you vote no, you're voting not to override the holdover. Does everybody understand? Okay. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Yes.
Alderman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bolton.
No.
Alderman Guzman.
No.
Alderman Martinez.
Yes.
Alderman Felix.
No.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner. No. Alderman Donnerworth.
No.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes. Okay. But it failed, I believe, right?
5 to 5.
5 to 5, okay.
That will be held over and be considered at the next regular meeting.
Thank you.
And during the holdover, let's look at those applications and let's see what they have to offer.
Okay. So item E, we're going to do the same thing with, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And can I have a motion to hold it over? Or do we need?
I believe that, I'm going to interpret Alderman Guzman's original motion was to hold over both
Yeah.
items,
Correct.
D and E.
It was.
Okay. On to audience time.
Oh, that was quick. Okay. All right, you're going to have 3 minutes. I'm going to set up the remote. Thank you, Mr. David. I'm going to name the people who have signed up. Go to the east side of the room, be prepared. Frank Pettis, Tiffany Verzani, Jennifer Cordova, Rayon Edwards, Margaret Carrasco, and Clyde McLemore. Frank Pettis, Tiffany Verzani, Jennifer Cordova, Rayon Edwards, Margaret Carrasco, and Clyde McLemore. Let me get this timer going.
Okay, Council, Mayor, my name is Frank Pettis. I come here today as a Waukeganite and as an organizer with Clean Power Lake County, concerned for the health of my fellow residents and for the current state of our existing health infrastructure. I live a few blocks away from Vista and have had many friends and family members struggle to receive adequate care since they stopped being Victory. Personally, I was born at St. Therese, more recently the Lakes Behavioral Hospital. I also attended Washington Elementary School just across the street from it. I'm here today because I'm shocked at the lack of public information about the demolition project at Lakes and the risk of exposure to hazardous materials like asbestos, which should have been remediated before the demolition began. Last week, I spoke with residents of the surrounding community, mostly Spanish-speaking, who spoke of dust-covered cars and backyard patios during the demolition. Some also spoke of lingering coughs, for which they've had to seek medical attention, and they say they have received little to no information regarding the demolition. One of the materials believed to be found at the site is asbestos, a carcinogenic. It is incredibly dangerous to our respiratory health. Symptoms of asbestos exposure include shortness of breath, persistent dry cough, and chest pain. It can also lead to lung cancer and mesothelioma. The two most concerning aspects of asbestos exposure are that symptoms often take years to develop, and it is virtually impossible to test for exposure to it. And this isn't the first, this is the only case of asbestos contamination in our community. Of Waukegan's 5 Superfund sites, one of them, Johns Manville, processed and is contaminated with asbestos. I believe there is or will be an investigation of the Lakes demolition site conducted by the EPA. I assume that having seen photos of EPA officials in hazmat suits look to be inspecting the site, not because of information I received as a local resident. I have also seen water cannons being used to wet down the debris piles at the site, a preventive measure and a hint at the presence of airborne contaminants. I'm here to ask what we can do as a community, as a municipality, to ensure that this does not happen again, and to prevent further danger to the residents surrounding the site. How were they able to demolish a building containing hazardous materials? We have to figure out what went wrong with the permitting process. How can we work together to give residents more information about how they can protect themselves? We want our city to develop and grow, but we have to strengthen necessary safeguards in the process. We have to hold all of the corporations who do business in our communities accountable, union or not. We have to ensure that the quality of their work, we can't take their word for it. The measure for their success is their profits and bottom line. Ours should always be the health and safety of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Tiffany Verzani.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Verzani, the Waukegan Public Library Director, and I'm pleased to share several updates with you tonight. The library is proud to launch its new 3-year plan this May and are thankful to the library board, staff, residents, community partners, and officials for their input and ideas. Looking back on 2023, the library added a new sensory room and accessibility collection, job center kiosk, hydroponics garden, and an ongoing book sale. We distributed school backpacks, health kits, and computers to the public through community partnerships and added yoga, loteria, Pokemon, blood drives, disability and job fairs, and a new slate of adult education programs. We're grateful for the support of our friends and foundation and for private donations that brought us summer concerts, a new van, welcome baby bags, birding kits, financial literacy books and programs, and Bradbury-related events. In 2024 and 2025, we look forward to launching our mobile services van, adding a telehealth kiosk, and redesigning the website, as well as library spaces dedicated to youth, teens, and makerspace technology. We'll also increase access to materials and online resources through development of new collections and membership in a library catalog consortium that will connect us to 30 other libraries. We're also adding Translate Live tablets to better assist across a wide range of languages. In addition, the Waukegan Public Library Foundation is excited to announce the return of its annual fundraiser on April 20th from 7 to 10 p.m. This year, we're celebrating our 125th anniversary. This event will feature food, drink, live music and dancing, whiskey tasting, art and technology activities, and a Waukegan art history exhibit. Raffle prizes include sports, theater and museum tickets, golf outings, wine tasting, and a variety of gift baskets and gift cards. All proceeds will fund the development of a library makerspace. Our dream space will inspire creativity and support students, small businesses, and artists alike, and will include a laser cutter, 3D printer, sewing and embroidery machines, robots, vinyl cutter, musical instruments, and digital media lab and recording. Tickets are $25 each and can be purchased online or at the library. I thank you so very much for your time, and the library is always there for you. We hope to see you soon. Next week is National Library Week, and we have lots of celebrations going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Cordova.
Hi, I'm going to say everything Tiffany said, but in Spanish. Hola, me llamo Jennifer Cordova, trabajo en la Biblioteca Pública de Waukegan. La Biblioteca Pública de...
Excuse me. Mayor, can we get a translator?
She's repeating.
Everything that she said. Please,
Thank you.
let's give, it's audience time, not alderman time, please.
La Biblioteca Pública de Waukegan se lanzará el nuevo plan estratégico de 3 años en mayo. Queremos agradecer a nuestro board, empleados, residentes y oficiales que nos ayudaron. En el 2023, la biblioteca tenía una nueva sala sensorial y una colección de accesibilidad y un kiosco de trabajo, un jardín hidropónico y una ventana de libros apoyados, una venta de libros por nuestros amigos de la biblioteca pública. Hemos distribuido mochilas escolares, kits de salud y computadoras al público a través de Connect Lake County. Tenemos programas como yoga, lotería, Pokémon, campañas de donación de sangre, ferias de empleo y también nuestros programas nuevos para adultos. Agradecemos el apoyo de nuestros amigos de la biblioteca y fundación y las donaciones que nos han dado privadas para nuestras bolsas de bebé y programas de educación financiera y eventos sobre Ray Bradbury. En el 2024 y 2025 esperamos lanzar nuestra nueva camioneta, agregar un kiosco de telesalud y hacer nuestro sitio web de nuevo y también nuevo espacio dedicado a jóvenes, adolescentes y tecnología nueva, un makerspace. La próxima semana es la Semana Nacional de la Biblioteca. Los esperamos ver pronto para muchos eventos. La Fundación de la Biblioteca Pública de Waukegan va a tener un evento el 20 de abril de 7 a 10. Este evento, los boletos son $25 cada uno y va a ayudar a agarrar un nuevo makerspace. El evento va a tener comida, bebida, músico, baile y también prueba de whisky. Vamos a tener raffles de boletos de deporte, teatro y museos, también salidas de golf. Thank you.
Mr. Rand.
Good evening, Council. Chief, report 24-13-295. Your officer sitting right over there off of Green Bay, behind Boston Market. Harassing. We've been watching them for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks. Scaring grease smoky customers away. Most of the customers that come through there is black. I just came here and I talked about how I sat on Green Bay and Belvedere for over an hour and a half. I talked to your chief of staff. I didn't see not one police car drive through there. Sat again on Grand and Green Bay for about an hour and 37 minutes. Not one police car there. But meanwhile, we got people standing in the middle of the street selling roses and doing whatever the hell they want to do. But y'all got so much going on in the city, y'all want to hamper the people from releasing balloons. Is y'all going to fight these big corporations that's dumping all this toxic, that's killing us? Y'all ain't said nothing about that. Well, get ready to fight me, Chief, because in September, we throwing the biggest balloon release for my Southside reunion. So get your guards ready. I'm giving you a heads up. Y'all are starting to turn this city into a dictatorship. I thought we lived in America where it was free. Hell, everything I do, y'all on my neck now. But you can't solve a damn case. Man, I'm so sick of you giving all this credit to everybody that's doing a good job when your damn chief of staff is micromanaging every department head. Can't get nothing. Thank you, Alderman Foreign, for getting me an interview for an application that I applied for, and had not you called, I wouldn't have got one. Application had been sitting there for over 2 months. So don't tell me what they doing. Respectfully to them, they're qualified to do what they do. Tell them get up out their business. And so I want to ask you now, Mayor, how was he going to school, getting all those certificates to become a city manager while he on the taxpayers' dollars? Please tell me how he had time to do that. Because it sure don't make a lot of sense to me. I think those are the type of questions you aldermen need to be asking. All these damn credit cards in the mayor's office. We ain't talking about that, though. But we want to keep talking about a budget. A balanced budget, how you did such a terrific job. Save it. Stop campaigning. You sure talking a lot now as he getting closer to rerunning again because you've been silent. Now you want to have your chief come up here and spit some data out that they created? Save it. You have destroyed the police department. And the way you and your chief of staff have destroyed it, this community don't even want to work with them. We hate them. And that's disgusting. 3 chiefs. And we got this one right here, and he's scared to damn death. He don't know what to do sometimes because he's scared he may get fired too. Disgusting.
Thank you, sir. Margaret Carrasco.
Alderman of Waukegan, wake up. You are the friggin' boss of George Bridges. So start acting like that. Tonight, my words are directed for the city budget to remove the city manager position that's in there, a mayor forcing it down our throat, and all the extra positions for be with George Bridges. Why? If he refuses to put the city of Waukegan emblem on his taxpayer car, free gas, well then, the solution? Take the car away from him. He doesn't tell you what to do. You tell him what to do. Next, if the taxpayers cannot enter this little elevator here to come up here to talk to the mayor, to talk to George Bridges, that's why she always has this, she always says all these rumors. Well, because she refuses to talk to us. He refuses to meet with people because he's too busy. Me. I'm on this board, I'm going to school. He needs to do his job. We need him to sit in his office, be accessible, open the elevators up, and talk to the people, help the people. That's his job, and he's not doing it. Because he's too busy campaigning for the mayor at all these different meetings. We know what's going on, okay? And we're not supposed to pay for it. Today, I filed a complaint, which I just distributed, in regards to the asbestos exposure at the hospital. Both the mayor and George Bridges knew about this since February of 2023. But nonetheless, they lie, saying, oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah, they did. And we have the evidence to prove it, okay? Next, George Bridges is one of the biggest liabilities here at City Hall, should not be in charge of human resources. A young Mexican female employee went to file a report about complained sexual harassment. George Bridges fired her. All the Waukegan women should be appalled. How can that be? That's wrong. You're a woman. How you allow this to happen? Another lawsuit, what do you care? Another law firm, more money being spent on lawsuits? You don't care.
Thank you, Margaret.
You're
Clyde
welcome,
McLemore.
Good evening, Alderman. If y'all remember last year, I told y'all that sexual harassment was going on with the mayor. Now y'all see the newspaper, they finally wrote an article on it that she's being sued for it. Y'all need to start listening to what I be saying. Now, I just heard Margaret talk about a female being fired. I'm gonna tell you about a black male who was a whistleblower who saw one of his employees playing basketball with the city car and reported it, sent it to George Bridges, sent it to his boss, George Sellers, and he was fired. I'm talking about Jeff Berry. I'm gonna call some names out up in here, you know. But I was asked not to say nothing about that because he got a whistleblowing suit going on, you know. But he need to have one because what's going on here is not right. Now, I attend this budget meeting. I got 3 items I need to talk about. I attended this budget meeting last week. And so I asked the question, what was a push tax? And so y'all explained to me, about 3 aldermen called me, Lynn, Guzman, Keith, y'all all explained to me what a push tax is. Well, over the weekend, I did some riding. Guzman, Keith, Lynn, I sent y'all pictures. They got these boxes in everywhere that they gamble at, and they got a push tax. That's not supposed to be for the people. That's what. Now, I did tell y'all one thing. I said the casino have it. I take that back. The casino do have a box, but it's for a donation for the Staben House. So that was legit. They got it out there where that money goes to the Staben House, which is a woman's treatment facility, which I thought was good, giving back to the community. But the rest of these places have, I think I sent it to you too, Alderman Bowler. Anybody I got cell phone numbers to, I sent to. I even sent you one, Ann. But these people are doing this here. Also, I passed out things, but you know we do Black Expo every year, Black Business Month. Black Lives Matter will be doing their 3rd annual Black Business Celebration. We do the Black Expo, inviting y'all last year, y'all didn't attend. So I'm gonna ask y'all again, early, the 10, we gonna have bouncy houses for the kids and free bowling at the bowling alley, free bowling. Everything is free. Come out and enjoy. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, sir, ma'am. That concludes the audience time.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. On to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion for a first and a second? Alderman Newsome, a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Bolton? Okay, and item A through D will be on the consent agenda. Any questions to those? Okay. Item A, a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, March 18th, 2024. Item B, a motion to approve and ratify payment of the regular payroll dated March 22nd, 24 in a total amount of $1,891,607.27. Item C, a motion to approve and ratify the payment of miscellaneous payroll dated March 22nd, 2024, in a total amount of $106,192.19. Item D, a motion to approve vendor payments dated April 1st, 2024, in the amount of $2,482,763.75. There being no questions to the motion, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Bolton.
Aye.
Guzman.
Question, was there a first and a second, or does there have to be one?
There
Yes,
was a
Newsom and
first
Bolton.
and second.
Okay, aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsom.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Motion passed, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There being no reports and communications or old business, new business. Item A, I need a first and a second.
So moved.
Alderman Florian, second.
Second.
Alderman Hayes. Any questions to the motion? Okay. Item A, a resolution approving a settlement and release of all claims for Fire Department Workmen's Compensation, claim number 230221-WO040 for an amount of not to exceed $65,000. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Bolton.
Aye.
Guzman.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsom.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item B, can I have a first and a second to the motion?
So moved. Honor.
Alderman Florian, a second.
Second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
No.
Who was-
Alderman Hayes.
Oh, Alderman Hayes, I'm sorry.
Your Honor,
Questions to the motion?
yes, Your Honor, I move that we hold this over until June because of all the concerns concerning this budget.
Second motion.
If you hold this over till June, you will be on emergency spending for your departments. No road construction will get done this year because the contracts will already be met. So remember, these are the residents that you are, you've had 2 weeks to, more than that, to meet with people. But that's your decision if you want to do that.
Considering May,
No, can you explain to us what your concerns are?
What questions are not being answered?
well, I'm receiving calls.
No, specifics. If we have to hold
allow
over
me
a
to
budget.
speak. And are you asking me a question? Then allow me to speak.
Okay, please.
Thank you so much.
Please.
So I'm getting expressions and concerns from my constituents concerning this. So they should be given time to look this over. Also, there's other concerns. So that's why I'm suggesting
Those aren't specifics.
Can you meet with,
to accept it.
I mean, you've had a chance to meet with,
I definitely have met with Don, but we also understand this, there's leave, and we still need time to go through this. Also, there's a discrepancy in this book concerning some line items, so they need time.
What line items?
You need to look on page 167.
okay.
What
but
line item?
One of the things, like I said, is understand if you hold till June, you're getting no projects done because by then construction season is already,
Your Honor, then we can make the adjustment to possibly May, first week in May. That's in the budget.
you've got 2 weeks until the next city council meeting. Why don't you make it at
Second
that
week,
point?
second week of May?
You're on emergency spending for departments.
I can't hear you. Speak in the mic.
It goes into effect on the 1st of May. So we need to close it out. We need to approve it by the end of April. Now, we could do that in a special session if needs be. I would suggest that we hold it over until at least the second, 2 weeks.
Second.
Or do it,
Wow.
or hold it to the third week in the last week in April. And hold it over and do the special meeting if the mayor is willing.
I'm willing,
Okay.
but you just can't put out for bids until the budget is approved. So it's holding, I am totally fine with it. Right. So,
I agree with Alderman Bolton. There are a lot of questions in this. I've had innumerable. I can't even keep track of the calls, texts, and emails that I've received from
but
constituents.
have you met with Mr. Schultz?
No, I did not meet with
I
Mr.
have
Schultz
definitely
because
met
I
with
can
him.
read.
Yeah.
Now, I was also specifically asked for the comparables for salaries that was done, and that was promised by George that we would have that tonight, which of course would be at the last minute. And then I'd also like a list of the individual salaries. I'd like to see, and I think we should see what everybody's making and what they're going to be making in this new budget. This budget is fine, but it summarizes a lot, right? There needs more detail for us to digest and for the public to digest. That's what's called being transparent, and that's what I'm driving for. So thank you, Alderman Bolton. You have my second.
Alderman Florian.
So I'd just like to point out that we got these books the middle of March. So we've had them for a few weeks. We've had opportunity. I met with Mr. Schultz on Thursday for an hour and went over all the highlighted questions that I had. I read the whole book. It's 300 and some 50 pages long. All the aldermen have had the same opportunities to ask questions, to meet with Mr. Schultz. We were presented Monday night for those of us that showed up. Not everyone came, but last Monday there was a presentation, and we were allowed to ask questions then. I don't believe any of the aldermen had any questions that night. I might be remembering wrong, but we had opportunity to ask questions last Monday. We had a briefing last Thursday with our chief of staff, not quite one-on-one. There's usually 3 of us at a time. We had opportunities to ask questions then. We had opportunities to meet with Mr. Schultz. There have been numerous opportunities for everyone to ask the questions that they had about this budget. And this budget has been presented the exact same way the budgets have been presented all the time, Keith. You and I have been here the same amount of time. This budget looks just like all the other budgets we've had. The salary appropriation is next meeting, where the specific salaries are listed for each individual. I really think it's kind of absurd for us to think that we're going to micromanage the budget and pick on particular salaries and pick on particular individuals.
Nobody's picking on anyone, Lynn.
It's my turn to talk, right?
But
You
it's
wouldn't let
okay
me
when you
talk when you were
overtalk me, right?
talking.
You overtalk me at leisure, at your pleasure, so.
Alderman Turner, it is
Turnabout
her
is fair
time.
play.
You were interrupting her, or you were mad when she interrupted you, Alderman Florian.
I think it's absurd for us. I mean, I'm a chiropractor. He's a lawyer. He's a retired cop. Keith, I think you do IT or something like that. You know, we are not specialists in running a department for the city. And we hire people who are, and we trust them to present us with a budget saying, this is what I need to run my department, and this is how I did it last year, and this is how I plan on doing it this year. And can you please shut up while I'm talking?
You shut up.
Okay, stop. Becoming, but Alderman Turner, you are out of point. She is still talking.
But she signed that freaking
She's
thing you guys
out
did,
of-
Be Nice letter or
Okay,
something.
and you didn't sign it, so let's move on.
Fine
It's
being
her
nice.
turn.
If I could just say something, I need more time. I need to meet with Mr. Schultz. I mean, I was leaning towards go ahead and approval, but then some things did come up. For one thing, you got city manager listed. I don't even know why that's even in existence in any page. So I'm going to need more time personally, to talk to Mr. Schultz, and that's the way I look at it. I need more time. Yeah,
Okay,
you have
I'm
some
fine
time.
with that, but what I will say is, they've made themselves available. I'm asking you guys to make yourselves available. Mr. Schultz was here last week, even though he had his grandchildren here visiting. He made time to come in. He was here evenings. He was here a lot. I think we have to meet halfway and say, okay, these are my questions. If you look under this city manager thing that you're talking about, we voted to put that in 2 years ago. It is not funded. It's a $0 amount. So it's not something that is,
Why would you include it though in the budget? Why not just take it off completely?
You can, but that has to, we can't take that out without it coming back to council.
I just also want to say this. I mean, other questions came out. I've had constituents ask me more questions and stuff, and they see things that I did not see. So you have to allow me time to sit down
Absolutely.
and really dissect it, and then
But
I
can we
talk
commit to doing this at the next meeting so that we are not behind on road construction, we are not behind on some of the projects we want to get done? Because you will be the first ones complaining oh, we want this done, why isn't this, you promised this, okay. But we can't do this in June and expect that you're going to get road construction done. So if we can do this, you'll have your salary ordinance at the next meeting, which was always planned. The salary ordinance always comes after the budget approval. We'll have everything to you, but you've got 2 weeks. Please, take the time and effort to do this and read it, because otherwise, you're hurting the residents of this city.
And if I could say one last thing, Honor. Some of my constituents, and I've been hitting door to door, and I've been in my ward, but I'm also, they're letting me know, asking, can we give them more time also to evaluate?
Well, that's why you could have a ward meeting between now and then if you wanted.
And I have one scheduled on the 20th, 22nd, and 23rd. So
Why do we
you
get
remain,
interrogated
I'll
every
give you
time
the
we wanna do
announcement of
something?
that.
George, did you want to talk?
Council, I just wanted to make sure that I am very clear. Alderman Turner, I did not tell you I'd have anything for you tonight. I told you I'd have the compensation cities tomorrow or Wednesday.
Well, what I
said
need
I'd have
then, we're voting tonight, George. You told me we all have it tonight.
for the budget, that is for the salary ordinance, not the
Then you
budget.
shouldn't have said what you said.
So I did. I said Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'm not going to argue with you.
And this week. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear on that. Thank you.
So I'll have it tomorrow.
So we're
right?
going to hold this over, and I assume we're holding item C over as well.
Yes.
I'll make that motion if needs be.
So can I have a motion to hold over the budget? I need a first and a second.
I so move.
If it's
All right,
Second it.
we don't need that because it's a
yeah,
holdover.
if it's a simple holdover for
Yeah.
2 weeks to the next regular meeting, the Alderman Bolton's motion is sufficient.
Well, she said June.
Okay, so Alderman Bolton, do you withdraw your motion to hold this till June and simply ask that it be held over to the April 15th?
Well, I do hear the reasoning, so yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, so let the record reflect that Alderman Bolton has withdrawn her original motion and is now moving to hold over items B, which is the budget, and C, which is the appropriation ordinance, for further consideration by the City Council. It'll go under old business at the Monday, April 15th meeting.
Okay. Item D, can I have a motion, a first and a second?
So move.
Alderman Newsome, a second.
Second?
Alderman Martinez, a resolution correcting a scrivener's error approving a, a side letter of agreement. Any questions to the motion?
I do, Mayor. What is this about? I don't even,
This was on the government operations. Were you on that one? No?
no.
Okay. Who headed up the government? Okay. Alderman Florian, you want to explain it? But it is in the packet, right?
It is in the packet, and we did discuss it at our briefings on Thursday. This is regarding the timing for the police officers' lunches.
Oh, okay, I'm good. I remember now. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions to the motion? Okay, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
This is for the holdover?
No, this is for item D.
Oh, Guzman, you didn't have a question about it?
I did, but Alderman Florian answered it, so I'm good to go.
Aye.
I remembered it.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Guzman.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsome.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There being no ordinances, Alderman time.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, I'd like to apologize to Alderman Turner. I don't ever use the word "shut up," and I apologize, but my emotions got the best of me. so
Apology accepted, Lynn.
Apologize for
Thank
using
you.
that word.
It's very kind
Those
of you.
words. I'd like to emphasize Earth Week is coming. The dumpster for the 8th Ward will be that Thursday, I believe it's the 25th, on Thursday at Beaver Park, yes, the 25th.
Same day as mine?
Yes, mine is the same day as yours. 7th and 8th are together, 4th and 5th and 6th are together. There's only 5 days in the week, so we have to have 2 of them on some days, so, yeah. So yours and mine are the same day. So mine is on Thursday at Beavier Park from 8 or 9 a.m., I forget what time it starts, I think 8, till 3 p.m. And as the mayor said, there's things that are accepted and not accepted. We all know that by now. I think we've talked about it enough. I'm excited about the yard waste collection for people for that 2-week period. I just found out about that tonight. So unlimited yard waste collection from 4/22 for 2 weeks after, up to 50 pounds each bag. I would like us, this is the 2nd or 3rd week now we've heard from audience time about the demolition at the old St. Therese. I do think I'd like to get some more information about that and what we're going to do to correct, if there is a problem, what we're going to do to correct this from happening in the future. It's my time, Alderman Guzman. Sorry, you get to talk in a few minutes. So, yeah. I've had enough sharing my time, so I'm not doing it. So I'd like to know, not immediately tonight, but in the future, what we're going to do to address the potential for this happening and indeed what is happening, if what we're hearing is the truth, that there is asbestos in the air. And my father worked at Johns Manville, and it's no joke. I believe it's what caused him to die at 65 years old. So anyway, I would like to hear that. And even though I hate this process, I'm going to make a motion during my alderman time, like some of you have done, that we have our yard waste stickers sold at the clerk's office. I believe we need yard waste stickers sold in City Hall. The clerk's office has done it before. I spoke with someone who's familiar with the clerk's office, very familiar, and said that in past, the clerk's office functioned with 2 people, and I think there's 4 or 5 down there now. And people from the south side of Waukegan or even from Tom's ward have to come all the way up to the 5th and 8th ward to get yard waste stickers because we're not selling them here at City Hall. I think it's important to provide that service, so I believe we should sell yard waste stickers here at City Hall. So I'm hoping someone will support me on that.
Sorry, why does it have to be the city clerk? Why couldn't it be one of the other?
It says right here in the budget that that's one of the functions of the city clerk's office is to sell yard waste stickers. She has a window, she has 4 or 5 people. I don't understand why we can't sell them here at City Hall, just for the convenience of our residents.
Mayor, could we have the city clerk answer that question?
I'd love to answer that.
Can we just continue with Alderman time? I believe that's what this time is intended for. We're not posing questions during Alderman time. If Alderman Florian is finished, then I will go.
All right, go ahead.
Alderman Florian, are you done?
Apparently so.
Alderman Hayes.
Thank you. Ninth Ward will have a dumpster drop on April 26th. I was in touch with the building department several times regarding the St. Therese demolition, and the building department has ensured that the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency has been on site and is doing everything it's required to do to prohibit the spread of any sort of contaminant that may be on site. So the building department naturally would defer to the experts on environmental issues such as the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. So the city is doing its due diligence and is meeting its responsibilities by deferring to the state. And the job site was shut down, the state came on site, and the state is doing everything that it can do. Although I will ask, have asked, and will continue to ask for additional information about the hospital. And we'll happily report to you, call me, email me, and I'll tell you whatever I know. If you have specific questions, I'll take the questions and concerns that you had during your audience time. I'll get you answers to those. And if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to me. I think that as an alderman, its most fundamental level, our job is to ensure that the city has the authority to pay its bills, that the city has the ability to provide the services that our citizens expect, and that the city has the resources to enforce the laws that we make up here. Without a budget, we can't do that. I think that the motion to hold over the budget demonstrates an unbelievable and concerning lack of preparation. I think that's what people should be knocking on doors about. That's why phones should be ringing. That's why people's inboxes should be flooded with emails. If you can't read a resume before a city council meeting when you've had it for 5 days, if you can't show up at the finance director's office and ask your questions, ask the mayor, ask other aldermen, ask anybody. It has been made abundantly clear to us that all city resources are available to us, every department head, to answer any questions we have. You have not heard one specific concern from an alderman up here. Not one. A page number, but not one line item, not any concern. City manager, it's unfunded. You want it out, we can take it out. That's not a real issue. It is our job to ask hard questions. It is our job to do our homework. If you have to stay up late, if you have to get up early, if you have to do it over your lunchtime, you have to be prepared. And if you're not prepared, you're not doing your job. And if you're not doing your job, you're of no value to the citizens of the city. We came here tonight prepared to vote on a budget. Those of us that had questions asked our questions. For those of you that failed to do so, you should explain to your constituents or anybody throughout the city why you were unable to meet your obligations. Do people want water coming out of their taps? We have pending litigation. Do you want attorneys to show up in court and defend the city? Do you want anybody to go out and enforce our laws? If so, then we pass a budget. I think it's shameful. And I hope that everybody shows up next week with their questions answered and ready to vote. I ask that you meet your professional obligation to be prepared. It's that simple. Be prepared.
That's it?
I'm finished.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, thank you all for reaching out to me concerning the city budget. As you've heard, you have a little bit more time to review that. Yes, I've reviewed the documents. Yes, I've met with Don, our department head. Thank you for all the thorough analysis and things of that, but just gives you a little bit more time. Also, speaking of a meeting in the ward, I will be having a meeting in the ward April 20th. We'll be giving a resource fair at 800 South Genesee between 9 and 11 a.m. And then April 22nd, we'll be doing our neighborhood cleanup at 711 8th Street in Waukegan. And then thirdly, I'll be giving another meeting in the ward April 23rd at 577 South Genesee from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And then I want to acknowledge the UMA organization, not-for-profit, that provided an event on Saturday, which I attended. It was very enlightening, and they give a lot of support to our community. And then also I attended NACASA's reunion, supporting those that celebrated life and that beat their addiction. That was an exciting event. And then I attended the mosque, the Islam community that was encouraging diversity, and they allowed me to speak at their community in spite of my own faith belief, but we really came together and broke bread. And then I also want to thank Great Lakes Navy for inviting me to be their speaker and giving me an award for that. And then I also thank the AME Church that gave me, and myself and the mayor, also acknowledging us during Women's Month. And then I want to announce the Emerald Gala, which will be held on April 27th at 7 p.m. and supported by the Links organization. I believe some of those ladies are here. Could you stand up or wave your hand? Links. So if you have any questions about that event coming up, it's going to be at the Harbor Lights, 933 Skokie Boulevard in Northbrook, right? And that's at 7 p.m. And then don't forget, that's Waukegan Township at 500 South Genesee, who supports our senior citizen, as well as gives our support to the community. That's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Guzman.
Good evening, all. Okay, so let's start off with why I put the hold over. Obviously, I just want to give everybody a chance. If there's resumes out there, they should have been given a chance to be on these boards. I always feel that new blood, new circulation should not be, like I said already multiple times, every time somebody gets reappointed, I am not a fan of it. Not that I don't like the person that's on there or anything. I just want to give new people a chance. Because what about if you want to be on those boards and you sent in your resume and they just keep on appointing the same person over and over again, you're going to say, hey, I put a resume in and nobody's looking at my resume. Why don't I get a chance? They got a chance. Why don't I get a chance? So I'm here to give you that chance, okay? The second word, myself, I was ready for the budget. I asked my questions. I heard questions answered and talked about what I wanted heard. My idea is more like amending to fixing what I felt that was going to be fixed. Okay? So the second word is ready. I am ready for the next budget time. And if Alderman Bolton and Alderman Martinez and everybody else needs time, that's what they need. Okay? And I don't understand, and it happens every single budget. Every single budget. Last year was May, I think the second or third week of May that the budget was approved. The problem is that these budgets are too close to the deadline. Okay? This is April, May is the budget. Why don't we get these in February or March? Then you have 2 or 3 months to debate this, and then May 1st, have this budget ready. Can we put a motion to have this ready by that time, or no, Stu, or Mayor? Because, I mean, this is ridiculous. We have to pay our bills. We have to get our streets done. We have to move on with city services. Okay, that is what we're here for. But if it's so close, let's move it back. And let's fix this issue so it will not be, the mistakes of the past should not be the mistakes of the future. And it is our job as the present to fix that.
Is there a motion?
So can we put a motion in to get it in by the, I would say the second,
Before we do a motion, can we have Mr. Schultz come up and tell us why it's done the way it is, rather than just, oh, let's just change it? Because one of the things is we have the audit that goes on as soon as we get our budget done.
Okay.
So they cannot be doing a whole nother process of budgeting. Department heads don't always know what their projects are going to be. And it takes us about 3 to 4 months to get everything in from all the different departments. So we start in December and you get it in March. If you want it by February, you're going to be starting this in October, November, which, Mr. Schultz, is that even feasible? I mean, we've had a hard time. What? Okay, it will be by the department heads. But what I will tell you is we used to get to the point where we never had a big, Alderman never had a chance to kind of be a part of the process. You guys have been a part of the process, meaning all along you could ask, you could meet, and, you know, that's the only thing. I didn't want to interrupt Alderman time. I just want to say before we start, can we at least hold off on that process till we get through this budget?
Yes, and then we can talk about what is the latest you can do, because I feel that 1 month, maybe 2 months, because then this wouldn't happen right here. And it happened the previous year. I remember that it happened under another administration, same thing, because there's just too tight of a gap, and they keep going over that. And that's the whole issue that needs to be fixed. Okay, so we could talk about it. That's not a problem. So I won't put a motion. I'll withdraw my motion, and then we'll speak about it. Okay, the asbestos. On the demolition part of St. Trees, the first thing after that happened, I started the process of trying to amend the way demolition process permits are issued through the city of Waukegan, but Director Sellis is no longer here. His last day was, last week, the 29th or something like that. So now I forward the stuff to Chief Bridges, so we are in the works of that, and then we are going to speak to the attorneys and see what way we can change our demolition policy for the 21st century, okay? So I am on top of that because my residents were also affected by that because the 2nd and 9th Ward hold really close premises. Let me see. I had a resident call me up about the hospital again. And what my take on it, okay, so I've said it from the beginning. My take on the hospital is this, and let's make it very, very clearly. City of Waukegan needs a hospital, not just a trauma 2. I believe it should be a trauma 1, okay, especially with the amount of people in North Chicago, Waukegan, Gurnee, Beach Park, Zion, and so on and so forth, okay? And then they asked about public money. Yes, I do believe that the hospital should get a public money, but not as a grant. It should be as a loan, either 0% or a very, very low interest. So this won't happen again in 6 months that it needs to be sold or endangerment of losing their trauma certification. We need to make sure this a plan is made up and to make sure this hospital moves forward into the future and we don't have this issue again. Okay? But here's my issue also. During the this hospital has been sold 2 or 3 times. Obviously, the city of Waukegan doesn't control the hospital board. Okay? That is the problem. I feel anybody there that's been there longer than 6 months, have a good day. Okay? Have a good day because you have not been doing your job. And if you have in 1 year only done 2 meetings, that is so uncalled for. Because I couldn't be an alderman and only have 2 meetings and understand everything that's going on in the city of Waukegan. I could barely do it now. Because people are calling me left and right and telling me this or that, and no. All right? But when it comes down to the loan, okay, it is not to give your fat executives bonuses. It is not to save your company. It is to save a hospital for the city of Waukegan. And if State Representative Mayfield and Senator Adrian Johnson can get that loan, I'd be more than happy to stand right by there because that's what it is. Whether you like them or not, Vista or not, how long you've been there, but we are just trying to improve our city and make sure we have the best services for our city. And we don't play with people's lives. I want you guys to understand that very clearly, and that is my serious point. Should public money go to the hospital? Yes, but as a loan for the hospital. Should it be a Trauma 1 facility? Yes. Okay, so that's my aspect on that. So we can make it very crystal clear. Next, I'm waiting right now for my ward meeting. I've put into the rec center and I called the Line Magnet since they're right down the street. I'm hoping, they got me down for, I think, it's a Sunday. Let me look at the exact date here. Sorry. the 14th of April, but I'm still waiting for Director Jones to call me back to confirm this. So I'm hoping to discuss that with the salaries, what's going on in the ward, the Green Day pickup, the streets that are being done, the sidewalks, and so on and so forth. And I think that's about it. Oh, don't forget, it's getting lighter outside. Yes, we're in the Midwest, Chicagoland area. People are coming out when it's nice, but remember, we're in the crazy weather, up and down. Like tomorrow, I think they're calling for snow. So there you go. So watch out for those school buses. They let out kids. When that stop sign's out, stop for that stop sign. Don't go around them. Don't try to maneuver because you don't know which way a kid's coming, either through the front or the back. Okay? Thank you. Happy Easter. Hope everybody had a happy Easter. Thank you. Have a good day.
Alderman Martinez.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk and the council. Just have a few things I want to share. But first, I want to commend Minister Rick Harris for that poignant invocation he had today. He really detailed some things that really stood out and really touched my heart. So I do want to commend him for that. Just want to talk about Earth Day for the 3rd Ward. It is going to be Tuesday, the 23rd, from 8 to 3 p.m. It's going to be held at the Weiss Field campus, which is on Lewis Avenue. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of people participating. And just for my constituents, let them know, yeah, it is a weekday cleanup. I will do a weekend cleanup too in the near future. So this isn't just a weekday and we're done. I'll do my very best to try to accommodate everybody and add some more weekend hours. That's what we really need. Is when people are home and they get the opportunity to actually partake in that on the weekend. Okay, my ward meeting. My ward meeting is going to be the last Saturday of April, which is the 27th. It's going to be at the Brookside campus, 2535 Brookside Avenue. There will be light refreshments served. I'm also going to set up a suite table. I have invited a lot of the dignitaries here, different department heads or people of that are in that field. Excuse me, Alonzo is one of them that's coming. I also got in touch with Officer Luca, Neighborhood Watch, so she'll be there. She'll also be talking about how you can participate in the Neighborhood Watch program. Tiffany Drive is where I live at. We do have one. And so for those who are encouraged and want to know more about the Neighborhood Watch program, she will be there and answer any questions. I look forward to that. There'll be more information that's coming. I will be going door to door, and I will be passing out flyers to let everybody know, all right? So just keep that in mind. It's just the last Saturday, the 27th of April. And I also want to congratulate CDBG, or the Community Block Grant Program, for 50 years of service to the community. They have done an amazing job, and I congratulate them on their milestone. Special thanks goes out to Larissa Garland and also Cynthia Alexander. Thank you so much for that. And then also, I just want to give everyone a brief progress on the Berwick Boulevard, the sidewalks. They are framing on Berwick Avenue. Concrete work will be completed likely next week. Grinding is to happen afterwards. And then also work on University Avenue. They're also grinding, and they're also doing some other work there at the road sidewalks. That's another project that in the next couple of weeks, depending on the weather and depending on the contractor's schedule, then I give more information. But that's also two of the major things that are going on in our ward. If you need to get a hold of me, you can call me at 847-390-2689. And then as far as the budget, it's not that I'm incompetent. It's not that I'm insensitive. It's not that I don't know how to do my job. I'm just asked for 2 more weeks because my constituents have answers. It doesn't mean that I didn't read it. It doesn't mean that there is some kind of conspiracy theory here. I need time to look at it, all right? And I don't appreciate the fact that some of the words that the Alderman used, that you went as far as say that we're kind of incompetent. You just had a minister there saying how great we are, how blessed we are to have the hands to serve the people, but yet it seems that when you don't get your way, right away, your way is belittling people, you know? So
I don't
please
think the
do
word
that.
incompetent was used.
Well, but if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it was a duck. The terms that you used were very offensive, all right, for everybody.
Sure.
And I took offense to that.
Okay.
And
It was certainly implied.
I'm saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks. It doesn't mean that, again, there's no conspiracy theory. 2 weeks is all I need. That's all. Nothing's going to change. Okay, that's all I got. Just ask my neighbors to be safe, be mindful, and moreover, let's all be a good neighbor. Have a great night.
Alderman Felix.
Thank you, everyone. I do want to bring up I do want to make a motion to kind of what we spoke about earlier. I did get the email from Stu to kind of go over what I want to do. This email went to everyone, so everyone should have it. But this is regarding the liquor license, so we can have put it on the committee of the whole, and this would be to reduce the minimum distance requirement from 400 to a shorter distance, basically to kind of to reflect how the state does it. And this could require one thing that we want to make sure that we put on there, because it still would affect some people if we don't add this specific language, is that we would reduce the amount to 100 feet, and then we would measure that distance from door to door, because sometimes there's businesses that have huge, for example, it can't be around like schools, but for example, we have a college that is huge, so then now you can't have certain businesses because it's taking a large lot. So we want to make sure that we are thinking pretty specifically how we can help these businesses that we had today that we couldn't help. So it would be the motion is to add to the community development, the committee of the whole, to amend the, how do I say this, Stu? Can you help me out just to make sure I do it the right way?
I definitely don't want to put words in your mouth.
Right,
But
so-
what was circulated was that there's a section of our municipal code called allowed areas. It's section 3-21, and it has a specific provision in it that says, notwithstanding the following restrictions in subsection B, it's actually 3.3-21B. No license shall be issued for sale at retail of any alcoholic liquor within 400 feet of a church, grade school, middle school, alternative school or high school, hospital, or home for indigent persons. Basically, we can't issue a license for a licensed premises that is closer than 400 feet to any of those. There's an exception that for the downtown entertainment district where it can be as close as 100 feet.
And also the last language too, just so we don't affect other businesses that are currently have the liquor license, that it would affect them. What is that language on there?
Well, the issue that occurs is that sometimes there is a license that has been issued, but a school or a daycare or some other church, grade school, middle school, alternative school, or high school will open up after a license has been issued. And we don't take away that license, but if that license goes away or is transferred to another entity, we basically consider that a new license and will not issue one within that. So that's basically the case that we had tonight. You had an established Class F, in community development. They're selling the business. They're selling 100% interest in the business. That triggers a new liquor license. That also makes them applicable or under the jurisdiction of this 400-foot limit.
Yes. And we'll have something ready by the time. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Well, this would be to place something on the committee of the whole.
For discussion, which we can, depending on how we're all, is it for discussion? Yeah, because we can vote on it that.
Why do we all have to discuss everything? That just adds to the process. We take it to the committee of the whole, we talk about it and take a vote.
Didn't we have it that way, Stu, where we would be able to have it in committee of the whole, then vote on it that night if we're all in agreement?
Once again, there's a lot of different ways which things can end up on the agenda. We had a process whereby 3 aldermen could submit a written request to staff. It would be reviewed by us and by Corporation Counsel. Also, another way that you can do it is you can, at a meeting, with a majority vote, place something on a future agenda. I believe that's the process that Alderman Felix is asking for right now. But you could, this is, there's a variety of ways things can end up on the agenda.
Yes.
And so, although we've tried to avoid doing motion practice in Alderman time, this is something that was discussed at a committee. And if you would like to place something on the next committee of the whole, which I believe is, we're going to have one on April 15th.
I think we'll move that to May until we get, because we're going to have a big agenda with the salary ordinance and the budget, and there's other items coming up, so I would move it to the first week of May.
I know this is Alderman Felix's time, but instead of us having 3 aldermen write something, can 3 aldermen right now just say they want to put it on the agenda and we could put it on the agenda?
In general, any action that you take at council requires a majority vote. Yeah, that's, which I think is, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was trying to define what the motion would be to place something on the agenda for the next committee of the whole.
Yes, correct. So can we do that? How, what do I put the motion and then now we vote on it, or how do we do that, Stu?
Once again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so.
Based on our conversation.
So what I believe you're asking for is a motion for Corporation Counsel and staff to prepare an ordinance for consideration at the next committee of the whole that would amend section 321 to reduce the distance requirement and allow previously licensed premises to maintain a license even under a change of ownership if they're within the minimum distance requirement.
Which we would consider to do from door to door instead of...
And we would measure it from door to door as opposed to property line, which is how the state does it.
Yes. Do we need a motion for that, or
You can say that you make a motion repeating what I just said.
Yes, I made the motion
If it's
repeating what
accurate.
Stu says. Can I get
Once
a
again, not putting
second?
words in any legislator's mouth.
I'll second it.
So you need a roll call, and that would place it on the next agenda. That would direct us to place it on the next agenda.
On the agenda or committee of the whole?
On the next committee of the whole agenda, and it would be in ordinance form, so the next committee of the whole, it could also, go, if there's an agreement on it, it could go to the full council that night for a final vote.
Okay, so it would be an ordinance and not a discussion that night. Is that okay? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Bolton.
Aye.
Guzman. Oh. Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsom.
Nay.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. So a few things also. This weekend, every weekend there's a lot of events, and I wish I could make them to all. But you know, I try to balance as an alderman to make to as much as I can, but you know, also still be available for my family and actually walk the ward and meet with people. But this weekend I was able to attend an event that Rita Mayfield, state rep. She was giving hams away in Park City. So I went to Park City and I got to meet some of the Park City. I met the mayor, a few of the aldermen. So it was a good event, good turnout. All the hams were gone. There was tons of hams. So I was happy to attend, and you know, always thanking Rita for inviting me. I attended a Family First Center. They had a Kids Day event at the People's Choice. It was a free event. I saw all the kids. You know, they were happy. They were getting gifts. They were playing games, and there were some resources there. So I feel like it's a really good for us to talk about the resources that we have here in our city. Family First Center is a great not-for-profit that's helping the community out. I met with their coordinator, the outreach coordinator. Amazing, man. He really cares about our community and how we can work together or strengthen our families at home, and they have a lot of services to help with that. So you guys want to look up Family First Center everywhere, Google, Facebook. They're there. They're a great resource. They do have mental health services and emergency services as well, and much more. So that's Family First Center. We had so me and Mike Morales organized a spring break trip for 45 kids. It was full. We had 45 kids we took out. Thanks to our sponsors, we were able to take them to the Field Museum, and it was great. Thank you to Mike Morales, because he was the one who actually was there. I had to work, but we organized it together, and we were able to take 45 kids with their moms or their dads having fun. They had to get out of our community and see a bit more. I think that's important for our kids to see more than what they see on a daily basis, and sometimes because of income or lack of, they're not able to. So that's what we try to do. So it was a great success. And I do want to just say thank you, Alderman Turner. He was a sponsor. Alderman Jose Martinez, and Guzman were a sponsor as well. Rita Mayfield was a sponsor. Really quick, thanks to Lake County Clerk Anthony Vega was a sponsor. North Chicago Vance Wyatt, the treasurer, was a sponsor as well. Adrian Johnson, J&J was a sponsor. Quality Home there in North Chicago. Legacy was a sponsor as well. They're here in Waukegan. Legacy Reentry Foundation is a resource in Waukegan that helps people with reentry. Those are there coming out of the jail system or you need help. They're a great organization here in our city. A-List Limo, buses and taxis, they're the ones who provided us with the transportation, so thanks to them for sponsoring us and helping us out. Vicky, Estes Brown as well. So thank you to all those sponsors. Next event that I'm wanting to do, and it's already in the works, we already have the venue and everything, is a community resource and job fair. My passion is more job fair because, and when you look at all the things that people need help with, at the core of it is being able to provide for yourself. So I think that's something that I always like to at least have one or two in a year. So we're having a job fair April 13th. For more information, please reach out to Mike Morales, 847-971-2991. We're looking for as many vendors as we can. We have a lot already, but we're looking to provide jobs for our youth, so our teenagers. So if you guys know or work for an organization, company that offers jobs for teenagers, please reach out to us. We're talking about the local, Raising Cane's, Starbucks, and whatnot. Please reach out to us. We are wanting to provide as much opportunity for income for our community, whether it be teenagers or adults. And our platinum sponsors for that is Rita Mayfield, State Rep, Nueva Leon, and Lakehurst Events. The location is 200 Lakehurst Road, Waukegan, Illinois, 60085. Is going to be April 13th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Again, reach out to Mike Morales, 847-971-2991. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Turner.
Before I begin my comments, I'd like to ask the city clerk if she would explain why she can't sell or won't sell the yard waste stickers.
Oh, I will defer to you to go ahead with your alderman's time. Alderman Hayes was correct, but I would love an opportunity to share if they want to put it on as a discussion in the future.
Do I need to make a motion for that, Mayor? To allow her to discuss it openly in council?
I think so. What did I miss on that?
I'm sorry. I was asking, I think you were gone when I asked, excuse me, if you would explain why she's not selling those stickers. Lynn made a comment about it. I wanted to know, and then they shut it down. So I'd like to hear from the clerk why she won't sell the stickers.
Well, I think there's been information sent to everybody, so.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear from the clerk is my point. So, and she doesn't want to speak now, so I'm asking, do we need a motion to get her on the agenda? How can we get to hear Madam Clerk speak to the issue?
Council issue.
Madam Clerk has shown herself very adept at participating in public comment. She can choose to do that if she wants.
I've been refused the opportunity to address you on the council floor, so I use the public time.
Oh.
because it is, I've been verboten.
I'd like to make a motion that the city clerk be allowed to speak at the next city council meeting.
I'll second that.
Thank you. So do we we have to take a vote on that? How do we proceed?
Recognizing speakers is in the purview of the chair. The chair's role can be overturned, I believe. The chair's ruling can be overturned by a 2/3 majority. So the mayor could recognize a speaker. If the mayor decides not to recognize a speaker, then then it would take a 2/3 to overturn.
Mayor, would you recognize the speaker?
That's the best I can come up with on the fly. As I understand.
Mayor, can we just have her speak, please? It just.
Why don't you guys do your 2/3? Well,
I'm sorry.
The motion is to allow Madam Clerk to speak to why she is not selling the yard waste stickers. And I would like to hear her now, but if we have to wait until the next meeting, then let's do that.
well, it takes a 2/3 vote then? Is that it?
To overrule a determination by the chair. So if the chair can recognize someone. If the chair does not want to recognize that person, then it would take 2/3 to overrule it. Once again, we will have public comment at the next meeting. The clerk has used public comment in the past to speak before.
I mean, I'm not sure why we wouldn't use public comment, so I will defer this to you guys to vote. Roll call, please, Madam.
Well, I'm going to say, Mayor, the chair would have to make a determination whether or not to vote. If you would like to do this if it's by simple majority, that's fine. If you're making a determination that she should not speak, that would be the ruling. It would take 2/3. If there's no ruling by the chair, then it would be simply to set aside an agenda item to allow the clerk to speak.
Okay, well, I would say that it's a public comment, let her make public comment, or no.
Okay. So the chair is saying that she will not recognize the clerk. That determination can be overruled by a 2/3 majority. The clerk will still have the opportunity to speak during public comment.
Are we doing a vote then, or of 2/3 majority, or just,
Just call the roll, please.
okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
This would be a vote to overturn the determination of the chair. It would require 6 votes to allow the clerk to be recognized. It would happen at the next meeting.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
No.
Bolton.
Yes, please allow her to speak.
Guzman.
Aye, everybody has a right to speak.
Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsome.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Motion pass.
Thank you. All right, and just really briefly, I want to address Mr. Hayes at the end there. You know, Tom, we are not to be rubber stamps for staff. Yes, we listen to them. We understand that they are the experts, as you say, but we're not here to be rubber stamps. Certainly, we respect their opinions. And also, regardless of why we have questions, and those questions need to be answered. So we are justified in asking them, and I don't think it's appropriate that we be interrogated or chastised for asking questions. On the flip side, I will say that, and particularly to the audience, often we get heated up here, and there's contention, and I think that's a good thing. We should not be go along to get along. We've had that for far too long in this city. For 20 years, I've stood back in that corner at these council meetings, and there was never any contention. Everybody knew what to say. Everybody knew what to do. And there was one guy, I'm not going to call his name, but he would rub his eye if he wanted the council to vote aye, and he would touch his nose if he wanted them to vote no. And we're not like that. You elected us because we choose to be different from what has been. We are not status quo. and we're not going to be. Thank you. All right. Again, I asked for the comparables on salaries. There was a study done, I think, of 12 communities. I'd like to see that salary comparison. I'd like for all of the aldermen to see it as well. I would also like to see a list of individual salaries, right? Call them out. You can actually see that what every city employee makes is on the website. You have to do a search for it, but you can find the salaries that are posted out on the website. Man, I got to tell you this, and it's hard for me to say. I didn't want to, but I got to. All right. So last Tuesday, I think it was last week, the mayor's chief of staff, so a city employee, senior, if not the senior city employee, contacted one of my campaign donors and chastised him and urged him not to donate to my campaign. He did this in his official capacity as chief of staff. Now, why and how he would know who's donating to my campaign, but he called me 7:30 in the morning to question me about it, and then called this guy later that afternoon. It's totally inappropriate, and I wonder if it's illegal. It would seem to be. So, George, stay in your lane. Don't get involved in my campaign. We know you're working for the mayor. We know you're just do what you're supposed to do and mind your own, don't mind my business. All right, meanwhile, in the 6th Ward, I'm having a ward meeting on April 18th. It's going to be at the Mi Jacalito restaurant, 910 West Glenflora. It'll start at 6:30 p.m. Free tacos, and everybody's welcome. All are invited. Free tacos on me. The meeting will also be streamed on Zoom and on YouTube. So I hope that everyone will join. I will give a report to you about what's going on in the 6th Ward and the city at large. You won't want to miss it. Also having a dumpster drop is, people refer to it as spring cleanup or something. I call it the dumpster drop. That's going to be on Friday, April 26th. It'll be in the 1700 block of Hickory, right underneath the power lines. You won't be able to miss it. And again, that'll be from 8 to 3 p.m. This is on a Friday, and look forward to seeing you folks out there and shaking your hands. Finally, people are starting to walk their dogs again, and we're also starting to see a lot of loose dogs. Remember, folks, you got to be responsible dog owners. Don't let them run loose. Don't let your dog approach other dogs or other people. You don't know what other dogs, how they may. My dog's a good dog, but my dog might not be, right? Okay? Also, please pick up behind your dog. Bring the plastic bags home from the grocery store, put them in your pocket when you walk your dog, and you can pick it up and take it home and throw it away. Be a courteous and kind neighbor and a responsible dog owner. Thank you all very much, and I hope to see you at our ward meeting on April 18th. Thank you.
Alderman Donaworth.
Yes, I've got a ward meeting on April 9th at Greenwood School from 7 to 8:30 at night. You're all welcome to come out. We'll have some statistics. We'll have one of the police officers there to answer any questions or anything else. I might have a little snacks there. My dumpster drop is April 25th, and it's going to be at Bowen Park, right up at the top of the hill. When you get to Sheridan and Greenwood, you'll see it over on the left-hand side. Other than that, stay safe. Thank you.
Okay, before we adjourn, there's a couple things I want to say. Chief Bridges, you are on your way up, so I'll let you speak. But I want to remind people with this budget, our insurance runs out for this year at the end of this month. That's why it's so important we get this budget done, because if you don't approve the budget, you have no insurance for your police or firefighters or any of that. That's all part of that. So just keep that in mind. Let's make sure we get this done. Ask questions we want the questions asked. Chief of Staff, you wanted to make a comment real quick?
As I've said, Council, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. As I've stated before, many untruths being said here. If you would like to know the truth, please come and speak to me directly. And number two, I would like to address my vehicle that I drive, that the city provides for me, municipal plates on it, and it has city decal on it. It's parked right out here out front. You can come out and take a look. If you would like to know the truth, reach out to me. Don't believe many of these rumors and stories that you're hearing. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Newsome, Bolton, second. All
Motion.
those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Wait, I don't want to go.